In our study design, our course specifies 5 management styles we have to learn, and one of them is not the contingency or situational management style. So why are we talking about it? Because it's kind of important, and what it does is it recognizes that no management style is the best to use in all circumstances. We don't always just use one, and one is not the best, and they're all equally as good as each other depending on the situation, hence why it's called the contingency or situational approach. And what it says is the manager must vary their style based on the situation. So, for example, we're going to learn 5 styles from autocratic, persuasive, consultative, participative, and laissez-faire. The style you use for this task, when the business undertakes a new marketing campaign, is very different, so it's probably down towards this end, very different to the management style you would use for when an employee must be terminated for dangerously ignoring company policies. We're probably going to use these styles more. What about if we were going to implement a new rostering system must be implemented to allocate shifts to staff? Well, we're probably going to be in the middle in terms of management styles. And what about this one? Team members will be required to work overtime this month to complete a big project. No one wants to do that, so we might need to use a persuasive style. We don't really know what the management styles are yet. That's just to demonstrate that different situations require a different approach. And that's called the contingency or situational style, where the manager changes their style from one situation to the next. They may predominantly use one particular style most often, but then switch to another style when appropriate. So you might be an autocratic manager by nature, but you switch to another style when you think it's appropriate. And the factors that it depends on what style you use are these: the nature of the task, the time available, the experience of employees, and also the manager's personal preferences. So just to explain each of those quickly, what's the nature of the task? The style you use will depend on how complicated or dangerous the task is that the team must complete. So if it's complex or dangerous, we'll probably use an autocratic or persuasive approach, so people follow clear instructions. You don't want people sort of acting independently when something's complicated or dangerous. Whereas, does the task require creativity? So in advertising or marketing, for example, you probably want to use a participative or even laissez-faire approach, which gives employees freedom, because then they've got the best insights to make the decisions that they need to. What about the time available? How much time is available before action is needed? Now, if we don't have much time, you probably want to use an autocratic or participative style, because there's no time for debate and instructions must be followed quickly. So for example, if there's a crisis, like a product's been recalled or something like that, pretty good to use these styles here, autocratic and participative, because they get things done fast. However, if there's lots of time available, you might be better off using a participative or even laissez-faire approach to give the team the time to find the best solution. Let them talk about it. We've also got the experience of employees. So what we're talking about there is how experienced and skilled are the employees in the team. Now, if the team is not experienced or skilled, so they might be new or it might be low-skilled work, probably use an autocratic or persuasive style where you're telling people what to do and following clear instructions. But if the team is very experienced or skilled, they might even have skills that the manager doesn't have. So you probably want to use a participative or even a laissez-faire style, because the employees can figure out the best way to get things done on their own. And lastly, what's the manager's natural management style? Well, we're all humans, and humans act, differently. So the way you act is kind of going to lead you towards a certain natural management style. So if you're someone who likes to maintain control in your personal life, you'll probably use an autocratic or persuasive style, because that's just the way you are. Whereas if you're comfortable giving and delegating control to people in your personal life, well, then you'll probably use a participative or even laissez-faire style, because you trust people more to make the best decisions.